What is Brewing in the Biosphere is a monthly conversation with the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust, and they come on with a variety of topics. And the really cool thing about it is for folks that maybe are not engaged directly with the CBT, you get to learn about all the fun things that they're working on. And it's quite vast, the topics. We've covered, many different arms of their research department, fundraising, small grants that they do. And today we have a really collaborative show for you because we're talking about Giving Tuesday. So it's Giving Tuesday today. If you didn't know the theme of today, that's what it is. So you might want to have your checkbooks ready or your finger on your email money transfer because we're going to tell you how to spend your money today. And for the third time in a row, we have Colin, the program coordinator with the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Colin. We have Michelle, who is
I'm the fundraiser, mainly for the Biosphere Center, but, a socializer for the CBT.
So you're the one asking for the money. Okay. And then we have Lori, and she is representing WCRS, right?
Yes, I'm the executive director, and I do a lot of money asking in this role as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you find it hard to ask the same people in the same towns, or do you have what's your approach?
Well, when I get time, it's just sitting down and having a conversation, and it's kind of an exchange. It's like, what can I do for you? And what would you like to do for me? And West Coast Community Resources in the community. So it's like trying to create that dialogue.
Well, I think it's a good sell when you do such good work because the people in the community know you, they know what you do. And so they're like, yeah, of course I want to give to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know who's really good? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. Do you know who's really good at this pitch have you ever seen Dan Lewis get up in front of a crowd of people from Clayoquot Action?
Saw him at the film fest.
That's some outstanding fundraising.
Yeah.
And you know what I noticed about him is he's unabashedly proud of the organization.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have any guilt, shame, weird stuff about asking for money, which I think is so important. Mm-hmm. And it's always something I have struggled with, like doing the film festival and then even getting sponsorship for the radio station. It's like this kind of meek feeling of do I deserve this? And if we could just break that down and be as brave as Dan Lewis is for asking for money, I bet you we'd see cash flowing more easily, release the stigma about asking.
No, totally. I actually remember when I first got back to town, I was on the corner of Gaia and he just was like, hey, do you want to be a monthly donor? And I was like, okay. And it just happened.
Yeah. So it happened for me like that. I was emceeing the film festival and I was telling everyone this is the work that they do. And it's, so hard to be in this town and you're always asking the same people. So at the very minimum, if you appreciate wild salmon, this is the bare minimum you can do is just and then I'm well, why aren't I doing it? So I signed myself up, of course. So now I'm a monthly donor.
I think you hit the nail on the head. He's just really passionate about what he does and he believes in it. And I think that's the good sell. Yeah, you can feel it. You're like, oh yeah, you are doing really good work and I can see the passion and people want to sign up for that.
I love that. And how do you feel about this, the giving catalog? Do you feel as passionate about it? Is it personal to you, Michelle? Do you love that CBT does this?
Well, I love community. So this is definitely a community platform for fundraising. The CBT have created this platform to take that kind of work off the charities table of having to fundraise to just help support them in that way. And I think it's, as I said before, it's a really easy sell because there's so many people behind the scenes of this town who are doing such incredible work, whether it's for salmon or the West Coast Resource Society or preserving the coastline. They're just doing it. And that's why it's a beautiful place because we have all of these people here making this community what it is. So that's the good sell for me because I believe in that.
And who created the platform for the gifting catalog?
Well, I'd have to pass that over to Colin because he's the OG of the campaign.
There seems to be some new tech things happening at CBT that I'm really proud of. Little intimidated by. You guys have become very techie overnight.
Oh.
You have that database that we talked about last time you were in. It just seems like there's some tech brain power going on at CBT behind the scenes. It's really impressive.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we're embracing innovation.
It's working.
It's kind of funny. I can tell you a bit about the origin. First, let's clear it up. What is the Giving Catalog? The Giving Catalog is this cool part of the CBT website where people can browse and just have a look at many of the organizations doing good work to strengthen our, social and environmental fabric of the region. And so what we often see is we've already been talking about it today, like people, organizations, Dan Lewis, going out and hustling on their own, trying to raise funds for their organization. And that's a very important part of fundraising. But what we like to think about at CBT is the organizations working together, zooming out, thinking and acting like a region. And so the Giving Catalog is a catalog online where you can browse a list and you can see all the different organizations and programs doing good work in the region in one place. And you can choose to donate to 1, 2, 5, or all of them if you really want to. And CBT processes the donation, does all the tax receipting, all the administration, so that these smaller organizations don't have to be out, hustling on street corners, although that is very important, like Dan Lewis says. If they don't want to spend the admin power on it, they can do it through CBT. So we saw smaller organizations like the Tofino Community Enhancement Society, the group behind the theater, that's trying to raise money for the theater, but really doesn't have a lot of admin capacity. And they were really happy to participate in the Giving Catalog because CBT did all that admin for them.
Oh, and are they a charity?
They are.
Okay, can you be a nonprofit and be on the Giving Catalog?
There are ways. We are trying to circumvent some difficult legislation from the CRA. So yes, in the past, the answer would have been a little harder to say yes, but I think now we definitely have workarounds for that kind of stuff. And that's just another way CBT is trying to help, work against what you might call oppressive legislation from the CRA, beep, bop, beep, boop, making it work for the communities and the people doing the good work on the ground here.
But as well as the charities, we also have the CBT community funds, which you can donate to. So there's different various community funds that CBT coordinates on behalf of other organizations who aren't charitable registered. And that way they can...
Tell me about that. That's not part of the Giving Catalog, is it?
Yep, it is. Yeah. So you can be a participating charity, or when you go online, like Colin said on the website, you'll see all of these different community funds that CBT coordinates on behalf of other organizations. And so, yeah, that's another good way to give when you're back in the community.
Could I give to like the school lunch program in that way? Or could I give to like recreation in that way? Or is it like I don't know, I'm asking you questions and you have to pull up your website probably, right?
Totally.
So some of the funds Colin are just pulling up now. Maybe he can read a few off.
Yeah. So an example, Coastal Queer Alliance, they're an organization that started super grassroots actually through a neighbor hall. And one of the first, they were organizing, but the one of the first events of Coastal Queer Alliance was a neighborhood small grant.
Wow, they really grew it from that.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're rocking. They're doing amazing things. Still working on. They don't have registered charitable status.
Right.
Is that
this is her second phone call during this live interview?
Is
so
that
we're gonna hassle her
Dolly
a little
Parton's?
Bit if it goes the third time. Loriana put it on airplane mode.
I thought that was a jazzy version of 9 to 5. Anyways, Coastal Queer, now they have a fund at CBT. So it's not...
okay, so people could contribute to it when they go online.
Exactly. Yeah. They're leveraging the admin capacity of CBT to sort of receive donations on their behalf and fund it through that, so it's again, another example of CBT providing admin support so people on the ground can just focus on the work. Wow. And there's other funds. For example, you mentioned recreation. District of Tofino has a community fund at CBT, which is just, it's not the District of Tofino, municipal government. It's not its own nonprofit, but it's a fund dedicated to support responsive initiatives for District of Tofino community, betterment. Okay. Mufla Rising Tide, the Newchannel Surf Organization, they've got a fund at CBT. There's a Newchannel Language Fund at CBT, Warrior Program, the Children's Swimming and Water Safety Fund. So take a look on the website. You might be surprised at all the cool opportunities.
And I like this because it gives you the chance to do one-time giving. Like I'm thrilled to be a monthly donor. I hope there's always enough money in my bank account and space on my credit card to support it. But I also want to have the opportunity to just do it once.
I like that.
And you can do that with this Giving Catalog. Is that right? Just one-time donation?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you see, there's just so many organizations that you could be aligned with. Maybe you're really aligned with with dogs or animal rescues, or you're more aligned with food banks or coastal preservation. But what we found last year, that donors actually made 1 to 3 donations per person. So people might go online and think, I want to make a donation to the food bank, and then be like, I never knew about the Warrior Fund or Rising Tide. What is this? And so it was a really cool collaborative way that folks find out about more interesting work happening in the community.
Yeah, the idea is the organizations are standing together as opposed to competing for funding.
Okay.
And so by driving donors to the platform to check it out, you might be raising money for your own organization, but you're also maybe going to be benefiting from other organizations, donors browsing the platform and stumbling upon yours and saying, oh, well, I came here to give to, the Tofino Community Fund, but this language revitalization fund seems really cool. I think I'm going to give to that too.
So you have one admin person at CBT or one bookkeeper that's doing all the admin work, or do you have a special person for the catalog? Seems like a huge job.
I think it's all automated.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, this is, if you want to get into how we got started with all this.
I'm just like, how do you possibly pull the admin off for doing it for all 25 organizations? Like, how are you guys pulling that off?
Yeah.
There is a bit of work in the background to the admin piece, but the actual calculations and collecting donations and the, card transfers and receipts, it's pretty much automated.
And it actually came with the bookkeeping software that we subscribe to.
I need to ask you this. What software are you using? It's
Foundant Grant Lifecycle Manager.
Wow.
From Bozeman, Montana.
Okay. Is it really?
Yeah, it's American. Okay. Americans love private sort of philanthropy. Community foundations, which CBT is, are really, really big in the States because it's a bit more, libertarian. It's less tax-funded programs and more sort of private philanthropy giving. So there's a whole industry of kind of philanthropy, you could say. And CBT, I guess, bought a bookkeeping software that was meant to help this kind of grant making. And they just had this cool thing called the Giving Catalogue, where it was, generally around the end of the year, and other times it's called the Holiday Giving Catalogue, tax incentive. It's the end of the year, get your income tax down by donating, whatever you want to, strategize that way. And so they've built this really slick platform that allows, all that stuff that you just said would be really hard to manually administer. It's pretty automated. And so when we purchased the software, which was really just for bookkeeping, regular administration, this option looked really cool. And I think about five or 6 years ago now, we thought, why don't we just give this a try? We'd organized 100 Women Who Care. If you remember that event.
I love it. I was thinking of that as you were talking, Michelle.
Nice. Yeah. And so we really, really just were, and it was the pandemic, organizations were struggling, community was struggling. We were, not knowing how to relate to each other. And so we were just really inspired by the idea of standing together, working together as a region, not competing, trying to lift each other up instead of tear each other down. And I think that ultimately that's the ethos behind this collaborative platform.
I love that. And I do love and appreciate the origin software story. So thank you for sharing that.
It's nerdy, but cool.
It can also be really hard to actually just choose 1 or 3 organizations from a list. You still might look at the list and think, how on earth do I choose? Because everybody's doing incredible work.
Okay.
So now that the software has this new button that you can click and support the entire region, and it does the calculation on its own and just split your donation between everybody equally.
And this is like a credit card thing? I need a credit card to do this? So, okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity to play an ABBA song. Do you guys think so?
We love ABBA.
Yes. Okay, so this is...
ABBA.
What are we playing by ABBA? I think we're going to play Money, 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 right? Here we go. Let's play some Money, Money, Money. Think about going online right now, checking out the CBT and their giving catalog and doing the whole region, right, Michelle? You can click on the whole region and say you have $50 to give. It'll do the math and split it amongst 22 charities.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Okay, get ready. Get your
Every dollar
credit card out. Yeah, there you go. Money. Do you have your money ready? And are you ready to give? It's Giving Tuesday. We're talking about the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust's giving catalog. Go online right now and see all the amazing charities that they support and donate. And you can donate to a charity, 1, 2, 3, all. And you can donate to funds, like community funds. So many options. I heard there's a match this year, Michelle. Can you talk about that? a corporate match?
For the second year running, we have Pacific Sands who have matched up to $10,000 was their match. And that means for every cent you give, you can get a match from them. And last year we ended up getting a total of $37,457, which includes that match. And what we know about matching donors is it's an incentive. Folks are like, I want to give because it means that, you know, somebody else is going to match this dollar. And it really helps generate some fun behind it. I went to Pacific Sands last week and we made this really cool reel together, which is going to be released this week. And the reel is also going to really kind of market towards visitors because visitors are coming to this region. As we know, we see more and more travelers who want to know what they can do to make a sustainable impact when they travel, how to make an impact where they travel. And this is just going to be a really easy way for visitors to be able to hop online and make a donation. That's really going to make an impact in the place that they're visiting, because these visitors don't get to see the people who work behind the scenes who, you know, keep this place incredible. So I'm really excited to match with Pac Sands again because, yeah, they're not just giving monetary, they're really supporting the campaign and they're giving us a big shout out to all of their guests. And it'd be really wonderful for other businesses who are interested to get in touch and hear about how they can also help share the campaign, whether it's through their newsletter or have a QR code at reception or on a restaurant table, or maybe they also want to be a matching donor. There's still room for more matching donors.
And you don't have to match up to 10,000 to be a match.
Not at all.
You could just say, I can do 2, right?
Yeah,
or I can do
absolutely.
$2,000 this year. And like Colin says, there's a big tax incentive reason to be a matching donor.
Absolutely. And also you get some value back. What we did for Pacific Sands last year is we kind of gave them a little update of all of the ways we had talked about Pacific Sands in our media, in articles. And so, yeah, you're right. It's a business tax write-off and you'll get some promotion too.
I love that. I'm actually thinking as you're talking that we might add that to our community calendar for the month of December. Just a little reminder at the end of every calendar that the catalog is there. How long do you host it?
You can donate up to the 31st of December.
Okay.
And that's our cutoff. And so, yeah. And I love that it launches today on the National Giving Tuesday. And it just feels really festive to do it. I've already been really feeling festive the last couple of weeks. So this is like another step towards feeling the holiday season. And people feel generous at this time of year.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I really encourage folks to definitely still buy local. I was out at Jingle this weekend and found some local soap and candles, and it's all really nice. But also just receiving a gift of impact feels really good to do too, especially in today's world of like materials and waste. It's really good to send a gift of impact. So when you go online, you can actually choose to give it to someone in their honor, which is really great. I've received gifts of impact before,
Yeah,
and
me
someone,
too.
it's great because people are like, "Oh, you used to work for Surfrider. I made a donation on your behalf," and you're like, "Cool, thanks."
Yeah, you get all the good karma, but you don't have to do any of the spending.
Exactly.
I love it
You
too.
do.
But you're giving me an idea because, of course, my kids have very long Christmas lists, which may or may not be met. However, I'm thinking that that's going to be one of their gifts is to scroll through the giving catalog and choose.
That's really cute.
A charity that they means something to them.
That's really cute.
I'm going to do it. I'm such a big talker with the giving, and so now you're going to see it's going to be in their name.
That's
Totally.
awesome.
And that's such a nice gift you can give to any loved one and say, oh, we made a donation on behalf of, this charity for your Christmas present. And it was matched. I had $50 to give, but it's resulting in $100 of impact.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Because you can say that because there's a match.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great
So it's
idea.
that much better of a present.
But we are hoping to exceed that 37,500. I mean, that would be incredible. Like,
What's your goal? Like 50, 100. I can
my
see your
goodness.
eyes are wide as saucers. She wants to raise $100,000 this year,
oh,
everyone.
that would be incredible. I mean, just keep on like maxing out our best ever would be great. So yeah, more than 37.5. But honestly, however small of a donation you can make, whether it's $5 or 50, every cent counts.
I was speaking with, Big day of interviews yesterday and today. I was speaking with Samantha Hackett and Miles Beebe, representing the chamber. And they talk a lot about, the pitch, right? To join the chamber and some of the big companies that are now part of the Tofino Chamber. And I was thinking about that for you. like, what's to stop you from, calling up Airbnb in Vancouver, the Canadian kind of umbrella of Airbnb, and asking them, like, how much time do you have to devote to getting a matching sponsor? Like, is this off the side of your desk? Is it a big part of your December?
Well, all the 100% of these donations go towards all of the charities that participate. So CBT do do it as an added, just an added resource for the community. So a lot of us are doing it off the side of our desks. Mm-hmm. But I feel that we talked about it before, like the Dan Lewis's, the Laurie, when you know the community that you're in and you know the work that's being done and you know how passionate these people are, I feel like it's a much easier sell in a way. And I know that you've also mentioned sometimes it's hard going to the same people every time because people get exhausted and they're maxed out because people give a lot in this community. But just getting local donors for this specific campaign feels really impactful to be a matching donor anyway. People that love this region, know this region. But that's not to say I'm not going to accept an Airbnb like $100,000 donation. Kim, can you help make it happen?
Yeah. I'm really good at the ideas, but I don't know. We might get Lori for the follow through. I'm going to bring Lori on because Lori Hanna has directly impacted from the Holiday Giving Catalogue, at least WCRS, and you're the executive director. And just over the years of working with WCRS, how have you been impacted directly from it? The Giving Catalog?
Yeah, it's really amazing that we get this opportunity to have it's called unrestricted funding in this sector. So it's basically having funds that we can decide what we want to do with. And a lot of it goes directly to clients because a lot of our funds are earmarked for staff wages. And that's just the reality. We have to obviously have these individuals to carry out programs. And so some of the funds don't get to go directly to the needs of individuals all the time. And so they're really, like for instance, someone will come in and they just need something really basic, honestly, like a bra. And you might think it's something we just take for granted out here, but they're not comfortable for whatever reason accessing, or they're not ready to access our transition house or this, but they've been fleeing a relationship and they need their basic needs met. So then I can just go ahead and give them a $50 credit card to get that met. And I don't have to account for it to any of our funders. And so that just gives me a lot of flexibility and the team to provide some really, really basic needs for individuals in our community.
Oh, I love that. And so when you say unrestricted funding, that's what you're talking about. You don't have to write a report about.
I don't have to write a report.
Up to what number, dollar number do you have unrestricted funding?
Well, it's really, we only get it if people give it to us.
Okay.
So, because basically most of our funds, are earmarked for staff wages. And so it's really that's the hustle I do, is to try to find as much unrestricted funding, which is partly why we created a social enterprise in Ucluelet. And that's that whole concept of having unrestricted funding so we can just meet the needs of the community. So, and some of our programs aren't even funded by government agencies. So for instance, our substance use outreach, I have to figure out how to fund that program. And then and some of our programs don't always meet the mark either. So for instance, rolling out sexual assault services on the West Coast is a whole new, educational, educational program for the whole community. And so we've, for instance, gone over budget. So we need some funds to cover that.
That's what my next question was. So if you get some funding this year from the Giving Catalog, do you have things in mind already that you want to use it for?
We've consistently used it for, it's a fund called our Community Health and Wellness. And that gives us just a lot of flexibility of helping people really directly. And so that's what we've been really using, the funds we get from the Giving Catalog every year. And maybe we'll use some towards sexual assault services. There's a lot of aspects that go in there, even just to providing food for women's groups or educational programs. There's these little details that you just don't think about. And even transportation for getting individuals to our services from our offshore communities, it costs $50 just to get to town for community members at times. So, these are the little details, or it costs a lot to get them out of town for doctor's appointments, for treatment, this type of thing. So we get to have that flexibility when we get unrestricted funds.
So if you were making your elevator pitch right now to I'm just saying Airbnb. This is just so funny. And it doesn't matter who it is. Like a local business in town that wants to donate. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be like a giant corporation. You could just be a small place like the radio station. What would you tell me right now? Like, why should I give to the Holiday Giving Catalog, and how would it benefit you in 2026 if I did?
Yeah. So you know what? A healthy community benefits everyone, so we're trying as a community to elevate everyone, to bring everyone up together. So the more that we can provide that, basically money is the form of energy. And if we can create that energy and elevate all of us, we all have a thriving community together. So it really benefits everybody on so many levels.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that too.
I agree.
Like you can't really say you're a healthy community unless everyone is relatively healthy, right? Like,
exactly. And it's like, there's always that like cliche of like, it takes a community to raise a child. But, I honestly feel like it takes a community to raise an individual. Like, that person you see struggling, it's changing that narrative, it's changing that dialogue around like, that person is intoxicated in public, but they've got like a substance health issue. And we need to start looking at them like they're struggling with a mental health issue. And also like we're getting to the point where we're destigmatizing mental health issues, but we also need to like do the same thing when someone is struggling with substance. Cause it's usually, there's so many overlapping issues. There's usually trauma. There's usually like, there could be other health issues underlying as well. So it's like, we really need to just build that compassion, that understanding, that non-judgmental and help everybody really.
Well said.
Yeah.
If I were to give to WCRS, would the money I give for the Giving Catalog go to that unrestricted fund that you're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could theoretically be a person that thinks, this might go to someone that needs something in the moment, and then they don't have to apply through this huge application process. They're just like getting a basic need met.
Yeah. And a lot of times this time of year, everybody, there's the food hampers, which is amazing. That we get, there's Food Bank on the Edge, and then there's Stranita and Tofino, but there's always people last minute that come and need support, and they just couldn't do the hustle or whatever. They weren't in the state. They didn't meet the deadline, this or that. Yeah. And so then I can just kind of pull something together.
Do you have kids in there too, or just adults, just women?
Oh yeah, no, we do kids and everything.
Oh wow. So there might be an opportunity to even make a kid's Christmas happen that might not happen if they weren't with you.
100%. So those are the things that create that flexibility by having the Community Health and Wellness Fund. So someone comes like the 21st and is like, oh, I need food, I need this or that. And we can just be like, okay, here you go.
Have you ever had to say no?
You know what? I'm like a yes leader.
You really are. Okay, I love that. We're going to close this hour segment of what's brewing in the biosphere with another reminder of how people can give on this Giving Tuesday to the Giving Catalog. I'm going to wrap up a little bit with Lori Hanna about some events coming up for WCRS, and just a little plug to donate. If you want to become a donor or a sponsor of WCRS, you don't have to have a credit card. So if you are trying not to use a credit card, or if you don't use your credit card, you can email money transfer. Is that right, Lori?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And can you do that like monthly to support you?
Yeah, we have a monthly donor. Our donation platform is Canada Helps. So it's very automated as well. And they give tax receipts and everything if you go through them. But through that platform, you can do monthly donor. You can be a monthly donor as well. And then we also just take direct e-transfer. So, and that's through our bookkeeping at WCRS.ca. But it is on our website. So check the email before you do that.
Okay. And you want to tell us some events that are happening? Because then we're gonna close with the Giving Catalog, I think. So let's hear what you have going on. What do you have cooking this holiday season?
Well, and what I also want to say one thing too is that the thing I love about Giving Catalog is that you kind of learn about all the different, it's like an educational process of learning about all the different nonprofits. And it's also like, I love the same idea of like, we're not competing. It's like, because that's such a huge thing that happens in a lot of communities, that all the nonprofits doing similar work are competing, and it really can sometimes cause some discord. And so this really builds us all working together, which is huge. So on that note, we have next week, which I can't even believe it's so soon, is our actual community holiday luncheon. And so it's like a free luncheon for all community members. It's 11:30 to 1:30 at the Ucluelet Community Center. There's live music. There's this delicious like turkey buffet dinner, and there's door prizes. So it's so fun. And we have like a whole bunch of volunteers, and so grateful for a number of people who have donated. BlackRock is one of the ones that are cooking all our turkeys, and we're really grateful. And there's a whole other slew of individuals, which maybe I'll come on after and just do a shout out to them.
Welcome to do that.
So we're really thrilled. And
is
then
there a fee to go, or is it?
No, it's so free.
It's free.
It's so
It's not
free.
even a fundraising event.
It's nothing, no fundraising. It's
But
just
could you donate while you were there if you were inspired?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Please do. Actually, we would love that. Or if you like feel so satiated after, and you're like, oh my gosh, this was like a $50 dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, yeah, you can do all that. We have a donation jar, but you can donate,
great.
e-transfer, whatever.
And is that your
all.
way of, like, why are you doing it? Is it your way of saying thank you? Like,
You know what? I feel so grateful as I took over this role and working for this agency. It was something I inherited. It's part of our community outreach program. So every week we actually have a free soup on Thursdays. And again, it's like completely open to community members. It's everyone's welcome there, you know, and so it's kind of building on that. And it just evolved, I think, over time. And because so many community members step up and volunteer the food. And I think Tug even volunteered food, and the Ucluelet Co-op. And like we just have so much community support that it's just makes it so possible. And it's just, our way of like celebrating the community together.
very cool.
The soup is at
That's
our
Michelle's
office.
question.
Is at the Ucluelet. It's called the Hub. So right beside the daycare in Ucluelet, the community center, we have our main office. And so we have it from 11:30 to 1:30 every Thursday. And over the years, like BlackRock actually gave us soup once a month. This right now, Pluvio is making a soup once a month. The other Wolf or Shed made a soup for once a month. And then other community members, Cindy who works at Coastal Community in Yuki.
Levine, she's great.
She's so amazing. And she has been making soups for like years. Anyways, it's so delicious. And then there's this other beautiful being that always makes bread, but never wants to get recognized. So I can't recognize that individual, but she knows. Yeah. It's like such a community.
She knows you're grateful.
She knows. So that's really, that's a really thing we're excited about. And then we're also in our women's outreach program organizes some community awareness events every year. And so right now we're in something called 16 Days of Activism, and it's bringing awareness to ending gender-based violence. And it's bookmarked by a couple of significant events. One is like the Montreal Massacre. One's like Ending Violence Against Women International Day. So this year, what we're doing is we're having, and so there's a campaign called Purple Lights. So, and it's like, we're selling purple lights. And again, it's like when you display purple lights, it's basically you're saying that you're a supporter of ending gender-based violence. So we're selling those at our office in Ucluelet. And then we're also selling them this Saturday. We're participating in Sea of Lights. Tofino Resort Marina is giving us a boat. So we're decorating the whole boat in purple lights. So everybody vote for us. We're going to have some really fun little giveaways.
Are you selling the lights there too?
Yeah, and we're selling the lights there. Oh. They're going to be at the hot chocolate stand. So they're giving us the hot chocolate stand to raise money at.
How much are lights? How much should people bring?
So for little lights are $20. And then we have like bigger lights for, I believe, $40.
That's really, and this is a great time of year to sell them. Were you doing this? You didn't do this last year, did you?
We did do it last year.
Right before the Christmas as well?
Yeah, we've done this for like 3 years now.
So cool.
Yeah, I know. We have to just get it out. Like part of it is like reminding everybody. And and you know, even when I took over this role in 2023, not a lot of people knew we had a Tofino-based office. So it's like trying to get that out more and more and more. And it's
you know what you need, Lori?
What? Tell me.
You need an influencer.
I know I have to hire my daughter.
I swear, like I'm looking at
that generation is so good at it.
And so many of the hotels now, like they've stopped paying for a lot of marketing and they just bring in an influencer and then that is their brand sold to the world. So You need an influencer with purple lights and it's going to go off.
Okay, I will do that.
Add it to your list.
And then the one last thing I really want to shout out is, so part of the 16 Days of Activism, if you go on our website, we have a free movie that people can watch. And it's called The Bystander Moment. And it's basically educating people on how to behave and support individuals. Like if you see a situation where someone is in a vulnerable position, like how to be a better bystander. It's really actually also empowering men to rise up and also be advocates in ending gender-based violence. It's actually a really, there is some sensitive scenes in it. Yeah. So some people might have a like really strong emotional response. So I do like to highlight that for individuals, but it's also, opening up these dialogues. And if it does, trigger anyone, or if it brings up anything, please reach out to us. Please reach out to our sexual assault services, our women's services, our outreach services. Please reach out to us for services and support. All of our services are free.
It says it's from November 25th to December 8th. Is that? Yeah. It's being screened where?
Well, you just go on our website and you can open the link. Yeah.
Like you're watching it at home, but you're featuring it.
Yeah.
Who's Jason Katz? It says Jackson Katz is one of the most important voices of our generation.
Yeah. So he's an individual from the States, but he's basically dedicated his life. And I got to see him in a conference. We go to these regular conferences for professional development in our sector. And so there's an organization in BC called EVA, which stands for Ending Violence Association. And so in our annual conference, he presented. He was one of our keynote speakers. And so he's basically this advocate for ending gender-based violence, but from like uplifting men to do it. Like he's like, we have to really end gender-based violence. We need to have the men in this conversation, which is something that is so important to me as well. Like we need to have this collaborative conversation together, and we need to do it together.
You must have seen that change over the last 20 years of working in your field though. It's a huge shift.
It really is. And now I am so grateful. Even the individuals that are coming, that I'm interacting with and meeting, there's some really cool, there's this other men's group that I've just turned on to from a friend called the Mankind Project. Yeah. And so that sounds like a really cool project. And it's something I want to bring to the community and just bring awareness. And it's a peer-oriented men's support group. So there's just all these different things coming up. And I feel like this happens in our society. There's this hive mind mentality happening where all these programs happen around the same time. And it's because our consciousness is rising and we're wanting to be better and we're wanting to do better.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
And speaking of doing better, Michelle, Colin, remind us one more time. How can we do better? How can we be better? How can we uplift the region right now?
Well, you can head over to clayoquotbiosphere.org and check out the Giving Catalog on the homepage. Or you can also go to our Instagram, Clayoquot Biosphere. And even if you're not ready to give, just take a look. Just have a sweet browse over all these empowering organizations, West Coast Community Resources being one of them. If you wanted to make a one-off donation to get your contribution started, remember it will be matched by Pacific Rim or Pacific Sands. So yeah, you got $50. It'll be $100 for WCRS if you go through the Giving Catalog this holiday, and you can follow it up with monthly contributions after that if you are interested.
I think Colin just said it all. And hasn't he got a great radio voice?
I mean, he's busy, but I am hardcore going to pitch him in 2026 for a show.
Absolutely.
Why do you think I asked him to come on again? I love Colin on air.
But just want to echo everything that everybody said. There are so many incredible people here in this community doing really hard work that make this community a place that we all want to live in and participate in. And so, yeah, just make a gift of impact and feel good about it. It feels festive. Everybody wants to give at this time of year. And yeah, you can click that button to support the whole region if you can't decide who.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. And just a reminder, looking for another funder who will match donations. So if you're a business and you want to get in on this, please contact the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust and see how you can be a matching donor for the Holiday Catalog. Gift catalog, right? Okay. I don't have it in front of me. Giving catalog, I think. Thanks, Laurie. Okay. Thanks everyone for listening. This has been our segment of what is brewing in the biosphere. We will be back in 2026 with the CBT.